Welcome to another fantastic episode of Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes Live, the show where we do a deep dive with our guests to find out the information that you can use to grow a strong and profitable business. But we can't do this without our presenting sponsor or our location sponsor. At Oliver & Associates Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction, it's a life moment. That's why they're committed to building relationships that last. They take the time to truly understand your needs, your dreams, your stories, so they can find you not just a house, but a home. Give Oliver Associates a call at 661-808-3444 or check them out at yourrealtor.us today. Today's Meat and Potatoes episode location is brought to you by Modern Gigi Gallery, an ultra-modern art gallery located in downtown Bakersfield, California, featuring the artworks of the modern abstract artist Johnny Ramos. Whether you're looking for artwork for your office, your home, or a postcard you can send as a thank you note, go to Modern Gigi Gallery located at 918th Street in Bakersfield, or give them a call at 661-374-7724 or email them at art@moderngigi.com today. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes Live, and we're going to do our deep dive into the world of AI. Yes, this is where the world is heading, whether we like it or not, kicking and screaming the whole way through. And in order to help guide us through discovering the humanity, if it's possible, of AI is Charles Sears, the partner with Torq MSP. Yes, that's Torq MSP. Welcome to Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes Live.
Thanks for having me, Michael. Glad to be here.
And for visionaries who don't know who you are you and what is it that you do?
Yeah, so you introduced me as Charles Sears. I am a partner at Torq MSP, where we handle the digital marketing needs, IT managed service needs, and then now, as we're entering into the world of AI, a lot of the automations and agent building for local companies.
What are some of the products and services, so for visionaries who don't know, that Torq MSP does with AI?
Sure. So one of the things that we have rolled out last year was just expediting products and services using AI. So things like sales copywriting, for example, was one of the first, where it's difficult for business owners who maybe don't specialize in copywriting to pump out all their own content, right? But they can't afford the big, massive website budget.
Right.
And so that was one of the first things, is solving a lot of the content problems.
And now you're getting into the graphics part of it as well. You're creating t-shirts online without having the models for another website. What are some of the visual things that you're doing for the marketing side? Yeah,
so now with AI video generation, we're able to create, almost, we'll just call them very realistic, photorealistic images, videos, and produce better quality marketing content for what would have normally required a very large marketing budget in the past.
Here's where it's getting fun, because your episode on the main show ran, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Sure, yeah, sounds about right.
And we've been getting a lot of feedback from visionaries just like you. And some of the one topic that I really wanted to dive into is the humanity, the personal touch. Because I don't know about you, but it seems, I can tell when somebody has written copy that has been computer generated, or I've seen AI generated video, it's real obvious.
Sure.
What are you doing for your clients to bring the humanity, the personal touch back into AI so that it doesn't sound and feel like a computer?
Yeah, so I would push back on the idea that you can tell.
Okay.
In some ways. So you wouldn't know if you couldn't tell that someone has written or generated something with AI if they were using industry knowledge and experience to modify that thing or to set it up in such a way that it wasn't noticeable or identifiable.
That's the key right there. Is you have given the AI a starting place, a starting point with the industry knowledge.
Yeah.
Why is this so important for the end result to be able to have a great starting place?
Yeah, so the AI tools that we use today are generalist. They're made for the masses.
Right.
And so bringing your expertise to the AI systems and then guiding it the direction you want it to go, requires, if you want a good product outcome, then it requires having that level of knowledge and expertise already.
How do you start the AI in the right direction?
So, I use a specific prompting sequence that I've developed over the last 4 years.
Okay, that you engineered?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, just for value add, right? I always start with the role. So I tell it, you're going to be this role. You're going to play this role.
Oh, like a character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it might maybe a character or maybe a position or title. Like if I want it to be a marketing strategist.
Okay.
You're going to be a marketing strategist, and then I give it the instructions, and you're going to do these things, right? You're going to write sales copy for these things, and then I give it constraints. So role, instructions, constraints, and I say, the constraints are just the bumpers, right? If you've been bowling, right? The left and right boundaries of what it can and cannot do, and that really helps refine down the end product that we get.
So using the bowling analogy, you're describing for the AI the color of the bowling ball, the number of pins, the length of the alley itself,
Sure.
And then you're letting AI figure out the trajectory of the bowling ball to hitting the pins. Does that sound about right?
That sounds very close to how we do it. Yes, and knowing what content or context to add in. For example, even just your general marketing agency or marketer, as someone who called themselves a marketer, doesn't start with the target audience or the ideal client profile.
Oh, sure.
Right. So by us bringing in the demographics and the psychographics and saying, hey, use these as some of the meat and potatoes,
right?
For what you're going to create or generate, and then do it in this form or fashion, then we get exactly what we're looking for, and then we use our own knowledge and experience, expertise to refine that.
When you go through and you've created this look, and you've created this prompt, and you've created this end product, how do you sit down with your clients and take from the very beginning, how do you use this product to help your clients move forward in marketing? Because I have got to think that there are so many different opportunities out there. What are some of the things that you're using the AI to do now that you're able to use the bowling alley and you're able to figure out how to shoot the ball?
So yeah, that's a great question. So whether we had AI or not, I've consulted now probably over 300 businesses here and across the nation on marketing. And what I found is that unless the business owner owns a marketing agency,
right.
They have limited scope in their understanding of marketing, little interest in understanding the scope of the marketing, and more interest in the outcome it produces.
Right.
And typically when they're working with someone like me, it's better that way.
Right.
If you show up to the doctor and you tell the doctor exactly what's wrong with you and how to fix it, sometimes maybe you hit the nail on the head, and then other times you might get some unintended consequences.
Speaking of unintended consequences, how is AI changing the marketing landscape?
It's definitely making it, so the first thing it's doing is it's lowering the barrier of entry. Right? So I do appreciate that AI in general is making it easier it's raising the bar a little bit. So that has been good. It's also lowering cost. So companies who might have had a smaller budget or no budget and need to create one can now produce much higher level quality content and advertising campaigns and such.
But what are you doing to take it to the next level?
So we're building agents, and we're using the large language coding models and things to build custom software that ties specifically to business needs, whereas before it might have cost millions of dollars to do something like that and years of development to solve one problem. We're able to do that at an expedited pace. So we're taking it to the next level by bringing in enhancements for your current employees, right? The prompts, the tools, the things that are going to make them better at their job, faster at their job, more accurate at their job, and then also filling in the gaps where maybe you couldn't hire an employee, but you still need a task done.
And Visioneers, that brings us to the fortune cookie game. Now Visioneers, if you're not familiar with the way the game works, I have a sealed fortune cookie here in my hand, and our guest has to take said fortune cookie, open up the seal, open up the fortune, and read the fortune cookie message inside and add "in my business" and elaborate. Now you do realize, Charles, the world rests upon your shoulders about your ability to open up the fortune cookie, read the message, and get the fortune and how it applies to your business correct.
Oh man.
It's all on you now. It's all on you. He's opening up the cookie. He's pulling out the fortune, and it's there you go. There you go.
Listen, my blood pressure is already high enough.
And your fortune says.
Let's slow this down. Let's see. You will find solace in the creativity of others.
In your business.
In my business.
How is that so?
You will find solace in the creativity of others in my business. Well, here's the thing about creativity and creative people is that we weren't all born with that natural spark of creativity. And so sometimes, especially when you're busy under the stress of trying to go get client billing, trying to get new business, you don't have time to be creative. And that's where we step in as a managed service provider and help fill that need, that back office need, where we hire the team of creatives so you don't have to pay them their salaries. You can just come to us and we can provide that for you.
Well done. You high five for a message well done. Now, Visioneers, if you've been watching the Meat and Potatoes for a while, you know that producer Emily has got a very unique skill set, so much so that she's got the entire second half of the show to go ahead and really grill Charles, grill him deep. Okay, maybe not, but definitely with a smile. And it's now time for questions by Emily.
And Questions by Emily is sponsored by Cazador Consulting. Need elite talent to grow your team? Cazador Consulting Group in Bakersfield is your go-to partner in staffing and direct hires. They don't just fill jobs, they build lasting partnerships by listening to your needs and delivering top-tier customer service. At Cazador, mutual success isn't a goal, it's the standard. This is more than staffing, it's building your team so you can build your business. Visit CazadorConsultingGroup.com or call 877-800-4622. That's CazadorConsultingGroup.com or 877-800-4622, and let's build your future together.
Hello Visioneers, it's time for Questions by Emily. I'm Emily, and if you've got questions, feel free, drop them in the chat. We're live right now, and I'll make sure to ask Charles. But starting out, taking some questions myself.
Here we go.
So we had an interesting thing happen recently on our main show. AI has decided to go through our video and say that it's political in nature, even though it's a toy store, and we just talked about toys the whole time. But I'm curious, your thoughts on AI policing itself?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think to start with is that humans, we know human error, right? Humans aren't perfect, and so AI is made by humans, and so we're building in that imperfection into the systems that we're creating, right? And we know now, at least for now, that they're not as good as what we could do on our own, like not a trained professional. So we're going to have these hiccups along the way, and life is about trade-offs. And so if we want to be able to post free content and not have to pay for these things, then unfortunately those are going to be some of the trade-offs that we have to make.
But do you think going forward, that's what's going to happen as well? Because if we're imperfect humans trying to develop a perfect robotic system to answer all of our questions and deal with life, is that something we'll see in the future? Will it continue to be its own police? Will it get better than humans? Or do you think it'll only be as good as we are?
I think in a lot of ways, AI has shown that it's already better than most humans in certain aspects. There's a big argument out there about this AGI, this pie in the sky, this artificial general intelligence. And my argument is that AI is already generally intelligent. If I go ask it a question, we're able to train artificial intelligence on a plethora of topics to the PhD level of knowledge and expertise, whereas PhDs are 1% of the world's population or less. And so where we say, what is artificial general intelligence? Well, if I can go in and ask any general question and get back an answer that I wasn't aware of, even being an educated person, then we have to ask ourselves, well, sure, maybe that's a one shot I'm getting an answer, but there are people out there working on things that are completely autonomous. And so I don't know if that completely answered your question.
So by and large, it's probably going to be better than the average human.
It's definitely going to be better than the average human. And I guess it really it depends on what we define as better. So more capable, sure. But that whole argument of good and evil, discussion of good and evil and what that's going to mean for humanity, that's still up in the air.
So what's one program besides ChatGPT? Because we've all heard of that, but one program besides that business owners should be using? Oh man,
yeah, so ChatGPT is good. Obviously ChatGPT is a category of text generation. If we move into image generation, there are more categories. It's a different category, more tools. So on the image generation side, I would say things like Sora, Midjourney, those are good image generation tools. If we move into the video side, Sora is good at video. There's tools like Runway, and now the new thing is VO3. So Google's VO3 is producing video that you couldn't even tell the difference between real life and the video you're watching. So
wow,
they've done tests and shown that people can't tell the difference.
Oh dang,
it's that realistic.
That's crazy. So then maybe what's one of your favorite AI prompts if you were to give a business owner? You're to take it to one of these platforms and say, make me do this for your business.
I think it's not so much the prompt as it is the problem. What I've seen in every business that I've come across is that it's always the leadership that is holding a company back, and their knowledge, their skills, their capabilities, their characteristics. For example, I'm very heavy on the operations and implementation side. I have the vision for where we're going, but stopping the forward motion to maintain some of the other aspects of the business isn't my strong suit. And so, if I was going to go to AI to help me with that, one, I would find AI tools that are going to fill that need. But if I just want to know generally more, or maybe get a strategy on how to fix that, then that's where I would go. So I'd say, maybe I'm not so strong on managing the day-to-day finances. So how can I solve this problem? And then it can tell me, here are some positions to hire, here are some things you can do to your schedule to become more disciplined. And so general advice.
So it helps more with the problem, and so focusing on the problem instead of the perfect prompt is going to be...
Definitely. That's going to be more useful to your average person than trying to, I gave kind of my structure earlier on how to do that. So I think focusing on the problem, the pain, and asking for a solution would be the best way.
Well, sometimes just even I found asking it, okay, what do I need to be asking you? Or what are some
asking
questions?
for the right questions is definitely an advanced strategy.
Asking for the questions. Well, I'm curious, in your business, so if somebody comes to you with $1,000 versus $10,000, and they say, do everything in my business to, they want to reach $1 million revenue that year.
Sure.
If they come to you with $1,000 versus $10,000, what are some things that you're going to do differently?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not in the era of completely autonomous AI systems. And so we still have labor costs we have to cover. We still have to, just like every other business, make sure everyone can feed their kids, right? And so the market still works the way it works. We haven't seen the massive economic impact of AI yet. Maybe not like what we'll see in maybe 2030 to 2035. So $1,000 is a really good starting place, but generally speaking, like you should be spending 8 to 10% of your budget on marketing. Okay. So they come to us with $1,000 and say, okay, well we can do these things. Maybe that's a one-time thing. If it's a month, if they don't have a budget, well then we bring in Tracy, who's one of the partners, and we say, Tracy, help them, manage their finances and their cash flow a little better so they can set a budget. And if they don't have, we run into businesses that don't have marketing budgets all the time. And typically what we find is that companies, especially smaller companies, like the 1 to 3 years, sometimes the 3 to 5 years, if they haven't gotten a consultant yet, is they're heavy spending on operations, trying to work their way out of the business as the owner. And they didn't build in, which I made this mistake too early on. Luckily, I did the marketing, so I knew, right? I had some of that, but they're spending way too much on operations, or they're not charging enough, or they're not collecting money on time, or they're paying some bills before getting the money. Those are like the big problems we see. And we say, okay, we need to fix those problems in your business, and so we're going to bring in a consultant, fix those problems, set you up with a proper marketing budget, and if it's $1,000, it's $1,000. But typically once you get to about $500,000, $600,000 in revenue, that's when you really start building and advertising into your company.
I see. So then I'm curious, what is the most commonly asked question you get, and the most commonly given statement that you're like, I've heard that a million times, the statement is wrong, and the question could be answered this way? Because I'm sure you get a lot of people thinking they know, but they've only heard bits and pieces.
Maybe besides the I don't have a budget statement, the best, or we'll say the most common question we get, definitely not the best question, but the most common question we would get from like a newer business owner is, what am I going to get for this? Or what am I going to get for this money? And so what they don't, what a early on business owner doesn't really understand is probabilities and how the market works. And so, we're used to going to a store, go to Albertsons, and you go to the shelf and there's a loaf of bread, and I'm going to pay $3.25 for this loaf of bread.
You're going to get the whole thing of bread, not half the bread.
The bread's already made. I'm going to take the bread home. I'm going to be able to use the bread, consume the bread. And marketing, you're putting money towards attention. And so human behavior is unpredictable. We don't own the platforms that we advertise on. Really, we're just very fortunate that there are other people, kind of like you here, who are out building content and gathering attention so that companies can advertise. Without platforms like Facebook, without platforms or without content creators like you guys, there wouldn't be a place to showcase your business. You would have to do it the old way, go door to door, just like I did. Yeah, I did that when I started my first pool company, right? Knocking on doors saying, hey, I've got this service, do you want to purchase it? So yeah, definitely the what am I going to get for this is the very first indicator, first symptom that, okay, this business owner is going to need some coaching on how this works and what we can do for them and what we can't do for them.
So then what kind of outcomes can be measured?
Yeah, so KPIs, so key performance indicators, you can definitely track data. Now, there's something called attribution, where you're trying to attribute marketing dollars to new leads. Right? So, early business owners mistake leads for sales. Right? That's definitely one big mistake. So bringing leads in, people who are interested or curious about a product or service. So attribution would be, we spent this dollar on Facebook, or this $100 on Facebook, and out of that $100, how many leads actually came through, right? And so a lot of, or one of the biggest mistakes that people make, business owners make, is they say, well, I spent $100 and I got no leads. They have no idea that, cost per acquisition, or what it costs to get a new customer in the door for their business, might be $2,000, Right? So for our marketing agency, for us to go out and advertise in the general market, it takes on average a spend of about $2,000 to acquire just one time. If you spend $2,000 on average, then you can expect to get one client if you do it the right way. So for every client we get, we're going to have to spend about $2,000. It's cost per acquisition. So, a lot of new business owners don't understand that it costs money to bring clients in the door, right? So that's definitely one of the big challenges. So the best we can do is go out and track how many clicks, how many conversions, how many leads came in the door. We can give you that information. I can't tell you how many you closed. You have to tell me how many you closed. And then from there, we kind of get a bigger picture of, hey, is this campaign working? Is your definition of what's working correct? And how do we kind of meet in the middle there?
It's kind of like a billboard, right? No one's going to come into your dental office and say, well, I saw it on a billboard, and so therefore I'm going to come to this dentist. But seeing it every single day.
Yeah, it depends on what's on the billboard. So, in advertising, you have brand. A lot of companies do branding. So to what you're saying, it's it's just repetition. It's seeing the brand. It's saying, okay, when I think of tissue, I think of Kleenex, right? Or when I think of a dentist, I think of whatever dental companies are out there, right? So that's repetition. That's branding. If you want immediate results, then you need to have an offer. You need to give them something to be excited about to come into your business. Like, you might see these things like braces for as low as $99 a month or something like that. You can get more people into your office that way, but you need to either yourself or know a marketer who knows how to do what's called direct response advertising. So that's definitely a different field that requires a deeper knowledge of psychology.
But it sounds like either way they should come to you.
Yeah, definitely hire a professional. I'm obviously a little biased on that, but yeah, we have a good team, and we've helped hundreds of businesses here in town.
Well, thank you. And if business owners want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, so you can call us 661-369-7000, and you can email me directly, charles@torqmsp.com, spelled just like they're on the shirt, TORQMSP.com. You can find us on social media, but yeah, definitely email would be the best way, or phone call, and one of our team members will get you right in.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. Appreciate the questions.
Well, and Visioneers, if you want to see all the lovely other content we have, check out our main show. This week we had on Jim Gillis of KRRJ Collections. We talked about tapping into micro niches and how leveraging celebrity partnerships can help skyrocket your brand's credibility. That is a mouthful to say. It was a great episode. We have episodes that go up every Saturday, and every Monday is our live show. So feel free, come back, stay in touch, subscribe, and we will see you next week for Meat and Potatoes Live.